Hey everybody, Dirili here. Thank you so much for joining me for another episode of Code to Realize Guardian of Rebirth. And we are still on Lupin's path. We have escaped from the palace and the clutches of my brother, the immortal Finis. And we're still in the airship. We're about to try to make some kind of landing into London so the Queen can amass her forces and we can strike back against the rebels. So, we'll continue on from this point. You can just sit back, relax, and let me read you a story. The only sounds I can hear are those made by the airship.
You are thinking that it's hard to believe all the fighting from earlier, now that it's so quiet like this.
Lupin asks me out of the blue, "How did you know?"
Simple. I was thinking the same thing.
I see. I turn to look behind me. Leonhardt and Victoria are asleep under the light of the lantern. The Queen is lying down, while her loyal knight sits next to her. They are sleeping well. From the looks on their sleeping faces, they almost appear to be a pair of lovers. I wonder how the two of them feel about one another. I can't help but think about that.
Oh, you can get some sleep now too, you know.
No, you're awake, so I'll stay awake too.
All right, but don't wear yourself out. You're looking a little pale.
Do you think so? Lupin's kindness towards me hurts for some reason. Perhaps it's because I don't know if I deserve this kindness from him.
It's been a long day. Of course you're tired.
Lupin seems to think I look pale because of fatigue. Or maybe he's simply being considerate and pretending not to notice this turmoil within me. Thank you, but it's fine. I want to stay by your side. Lupin nods slightly, then falls silent. The silence stretches out, and I steal a glance at Lupin's face. He always protects me. He always helps me when I'm in need. He's always at my side. Now that I'm thinking about it, I don't understand why he goes to such lengths to show me kindness. I know that his main motivation is to stop the terrorist attack. I wonder if he feels anything more. I wonder if he feels what I feel for him, the strange emotion that's hurting my heart, yet gives it warmth. I begin to speak without thinking, to say what needs to be said, and what I want him to hear right now. Lupin, I want you to know, my chest feels tight when I think about you. He shows no emotion. I'm glad for that. I was compelled to say that, but what I really want to say to him, but not even understand myself. I'm happy that you came to save me, but I really didn't like that you put yourself in danger. I don't even understand why I would feel that way, but still. I was just thinking about things like, what if something happened to you, and as I desperately tried to find the right words, I noticed Lupin looking over at me. His eyes are kind and inquisitive, and he's gazing at me quietly. So, what I meant to say, his eyes make my heart race. I know I should say something, but all I can do is feel my cheeks getting warmer. Whoa! There is an unexpected darkness, but at the same time... Oh, that's so cute! I feel a subtle and gentle pressure through my hat. It all happens very quickly, and without warning, but this moment will hold a special significance to me. Or so I hope. The comforting warmth carefully separates itself from me. As I try to ask what he just did, I hear a noise behind us.
Lupin, have we not landed yet?
Lupin shakes his head as the knight gets up.
I see. I'm sorry to have left the operation entirely to you. I could have taken a turn at the helm if I was able to handle an airship. Don't worry about it. It's nothing.
Leonhardt nods, then looks over at Victoria's sleeping face with a kind expression. Not long after that, Lupin begins to bring the airship down. He lands the airship safely on a hill in the suburbs of London without having been seen by anyone. I'd like to thank the two of you once more. She speaks to us on top of a hill, lit by the morning sun. We've been able to find a spot to hide, away from the airship and in the forest. You performed brilliantly back there. Once this is over, I would like to reward you on behalf of the nation.
We're not the medal-wearing type. Just make sure you take London back and help us out at St. Paul's, and we're good.
Victoria smiles. You can leave that to me. I'll make them regret ever turning their swords against me. She quickly goes over her plans for the near future. It looks like she has fully adopted Lupin's idea of rebuilding a fighting force from the remaining loyal troops within London. There's not a moment to lose. Let's get started. What will the two of you be doing?
We'll assist you, of course. Getting the established government back in power is our only hope right now.
Victoria nods, then extends her hand to Lupin. Then you are both allies to Britain. Let us work together to turn the situation around. Lupin smiles as well, then takes Victoria's hand. A band of thieves cooperating with the government. An unheard-of arrangement has just been forged. Later, once back in the city, Victoria immediately assembles her soldiers, ordering them to gather in the poor district. The soldiers, who have been completely worn out, have a renewed light in their eyes from these direct orders by the Queen. Not long after that, many soldiers and residents who had remained in the city have gathered in the name of the Queen of the British Empire. Some are covered in soot, and others are wounded, but though they are all different, they all wear the same anxious expression. Everyone, thank you for coming. Victoria smiles her usual smile, facing without flinching all those who look to her with weariness, anxiety, and doubt. It brings me so much joy that so many of my citizens have answered my call. She shows no signs of fatigue from the earlier battle and escape, or even from the wound she sustained. So she's like not even limping around or anything. She looks out calmly at the assembled crowd, as if she was inside her own throne room. I am able to stand here because all of you have fought hard. Thank you for your efforts. Unfortunately, their revolt has succeeded, and our government has collapsed. The enemy is both powerful and knowledgeable. However, as long as I have all of you, I do not intend to lose. I'd like you to lend me your strength for just a little while longer. As long as the people of Britain survive, there's no way that our nation will succumb to this sort of revolt. Justice has come now. The rebels shall meet with the iron hammer of justice. Let us show them our strength. I declare the establishment of a provisional government within Britain, as of this moment. A thunderous cheer erupts once Victoria's speech has ended. Her words have transformed their anxiety into hope and their fear into courage. Her speech stirs something within me as well, as I listen at the very back of the crowd with Lupin.
You'd never know she was about to be captured by the enemy just last night. She's one heck of a queen.
Yes. The cheering continues, and we start to move away from the area.
There you are.
Leonhardt calls to us as he runs over.
It's thanks to you two that Her Majesty is safe. I'd like to formally thank you. I promise to return the favor someday. I swear it by my honor and my sword.
Lupin laughs at seeing Leonhardt acting more like his usual self, and looks over at him.
I need to thank you too. Thanks for protecting her while I was gone. I never thought the day would come when I would be thanking a robber. It certainly feels strange.
He looks over at me, then back to Lupin, and sighs.
Sorry to disturb this emotional moment, but aren't you forgetting to introduce me?
Lupin freezes at the sound of the voice that suddenly appears from behind Leonhardt. That voice, it can't be. Lupin's face twitches as he looks behind Leonhardt.
Oh, that's right. I don't believe the two of you have met yet. Oh, is it Sherlock Sholmes? He will be assisting us with the military operations. This is Sherlock Sholmes. So it is you! What are you doing here? He just told you. This nation is facing a crisis right now. It's only natural that I lend a hand as a loyal citizen of Britain.
But you're a detective. How are you going to help?
Why, I am rather well acquainted with the military sciences. I'd say there are a few things I could prove useful for. Are you serious? So this is some sort of cooperative mission between the two of us? I suppose so. Just make sure not to get in my way, little cutpurse. Same to you, you pathetic gendarme. I don't know if that was the right word. I have no idea what that word is. And who is it, I wonder, who has nearly been caught by a pathetic gendarme? Yeah, well, you have quite a mouth on you.
Lupin glares at Sholmes, looking like he might have a grab for him at any second. Lupin, we're on the same team now, so you should be nice. Lupin looks at me, then sighs.
Fine. I'll let it slide this time, for her sake. Even if we did engage in fisticuffs, I can't imagine that you would get the upper hand on me. What did you say?
Lupin! Lupin completely loses his usual cool when confronted by Sholmes. His street punk attitude comes out. Watching them makes me realize that some people really can bring out the worst in you.
Sorry to interrupt. Lupin, what do you intend to do now?
These words bring Lupin back to his usual self, and he takes a deep breath as he fixes his collar.
First, I'm going to look for my friends and meet them. I need everyone before we can do anything. We're right here.
It feels like it's been so long since I heard this voice. The voice of a friend I care for, who I spent so much time with. I turn around.
I'm glad we found you. We were so worried about you both. Not even a single word from you. Don't waste our time again. My beloved princess! I don't care about anything as long as you're all right. I'm glad you're both safe.
I'm so glad you're all right too. I had faith that everyone would be fine. But still, part of me has been worried, asking, what if? I'm relieved to see them all looking well.
How did you know we'd be here? Oh, we have the Count to thank for that.
Saint Germain.
I do have many connections.
Saint Germain smiles and looks at Lupin and me.
To rescue the Queen, that must have been a great order that could have possibly changed the course of history. You may not be aware of it, but the two of you did something truly beneficial for the world.
I just tagged along. The one who did all the work was... I look up at Lupin. He notices my glance and smiles.
What are you talking about? You did some amazing work too.
He looks around at all the others.
She is the one who saved Victoria amidst flying bullets and took her out of the palace. What? Really? Then the real question here is, what exactly were you up to the whole time?
Lupin laughs as he begins to relate what he had done to the others. I am very happy. Of course, I'm happy to be able to see them all again. But most of all, I'm happy that Lupin acknowledged me. I'm happy that I might have been able to return perhaps a small favor to repay all that he's done for me.
Now,
Lupin turns back to them.
Let's talk about what to do next. One of my hideouts is nearby, so let's head there for now. Oh, I'm intrigued. I'd be interested in coming along.
Lupin dismissively waves a hand at Sholmes, trying to shoo him away as he tags along. Still, we all follow Lupin. I've missed this. Before we went to the underground facility, this had been our normal life. Lupin would put together a plan, and everyone would follow. I stare at Lupin as we walk. The more he shows how reliable he can be, the more he extends his hand to me. For some reason, it all makes that tightness in my chest even greater. I sense someone's eyes on me, and see Saint Germain looking at me with concern.
Can you walk?
Yes, I'm fine. In an instant, I put a smile on my face so as to keep him from worrying. But it's a fake smile. A small voice in my head whispers that a fake smile is most appropriate for a doll like me. It's dusk by the time we arrive at Lupin's hideout. The light coming in through the small window is already vermilion tinted. Deli and Cece, who had stayed behind at the mansion, join us as well. They're likely relaxing in a separate room right now, along with Sholmes.
This will be our hideout for a while. There are several rooms, so just choose whichever one you want.
We're going to stay here. What about St. Germain's mansion?
Under these circumstances, it's safer to stay here than go back. We'll also need to cooperate closely with the government. This is the best place to call home base in terms of convenience.
With that in mind, Lupin looks over at me.
Cardia, tell everyone everything that's happened. You left alone without saying anything. You owe them all an explanation, at the very least.
I nod in response. First, I want to apologize. I'm sorry, everyone.
What's past is past. I'm fine as long as you're sorry about it.
Van Helsing replies in a quiet voice, and it seems everyone else is in agreement. I start to speak slowly, feeling thankful for their warmth. I tell them about how I went to my previous home in Wales to search for clues alone so as not to cause them any more trouble. I tell them about the notebook I found there and the words code realize. I tell them about Lupin joining me. I tell them about Father's secret that lies beneath St. Paul's Cathedral. I tell them about how we learned about the revolt in London while on the train. We learned that Finis had been behind everything. Then we had rescued the Queen and agreed to a cooperative relationship with them. I tell them all of this. After I'm done talking, they are all looking at me in shock. What's the matter?
Wow, you went through a pretty unbelievable adventure. Rescuing the Queen from a besieged castle. It's almost like a fairy tale. But we don't know how this fairy tale ends. Isn't that right, Lupin?
Lupin nods and picks up where I left off.
Yeah, Finis currently has the upper hand. It's only a matter of time before London falls. And if this civil war goes on, other countries may begin to take action. Attacked from both inside and out, this nation will be in quite a predicament. So that's why Victoria has called her forces together to put an end to all this as quickly as possible.
Lupin nods to Van Helsing, confirming his statement.
The rebels won't amount to much trouble once we crush Twilight, so we're all going to cut off the head of the snake. The enemy's home base is in St. Paul's Cathedral. You all are going to assault it using the troops that Victoria's gathered. In the meantime, Cardia and I will enter St. Paul's using the confusion of the attack as cover. Then we will bring all the secrets to light.
I nod along with him. But a small part of me still has doubts. Maybe I don't want to find the truth. I'll give up on trying to cure my poison. But I also feel that something needs to change. I have to make up my mind and go for it at some point. And I suppose now is that time.
I'll say it up front that this mission is extremely dangerous. Your lives will truly be on the line. If you're not willing to face that, then stay behind.
Nobody moves an inch. Of course they'll stick around. I feel like I can hear them all saying that. You guys, it's reassuring, but I'm also anxious. My heart is filled with a mixture of both joy and nervousness.
Cardia, it looks like everyone's in. Is there anything else that you'd like to add?
I'm supposed to say thank you. I hesitate for a moment, then say, I'm sorry for getting all of you involved. I know that it's really my own personal issue, but thank you. I really need all your help to keep moving forward.
I've always had my own objective. There's no need for you to feel sorry over it. Isaac's secret, perhaps the reason behind Finis' immortality, will become clear once we find out. There may be a clue as to how your poison can be treated as well. I'll stick with you until the end, of course. And I am the world's greatest engineer, as well as a warrior of love. So, what does that mean? Cardia, it means I would die for you! Count me in as well. This is an unprecedented event in the history of mankind. I shall do my best to help if it means I can spend this unique experience with you all.
Lastly, Lupin stands in front of me.
My pretty mademoiselle, for you, this gentleman thief and his gang will make the impossible possible. I think Van Helsing will take issue with that term.
He goes down on one knee and gently extends his hand.
If you would be so obliged as to accept our offer, please take my hand.
His voice and words have always made me smile. I know very well that these theatrical acts of his are always filled with kindness and consideration. Even now, it feels like I'm wrapped up in his kindness. I gently put my hand out, and Lupin takes it. He smiles, then lightly kisses the back of my hand. Midnight. I leave my room and go out into the street to look up at the sky in a daze. All of London is currently at war, and yet the sky above us remains as calm as always. But it probably won't be long before Victoria commands an all-out assault on St. Paul's. And that will also be the moment I find out about my secret. I want to get rid of this poison. I want to be human, not a monster. Although a part of me feels this way. I don't want to know. I want to run away. Another part of me feels differently.
Stargazing.
I hear a voice from behind. Saint Germain stands there, smiling. I couldn't sleep. I'm not looking at the stars, just looking.
I see. I understand that you may feel unsettled. Considering what's about to take place, emotional balance is important.
What are you doing here? Saint Germain hesitates, then looks over at me. His smile seems somewhat melancholic, though I don't know why.
I was looking for you, Miss Cardia.
Oh, I miss you, Saint Germain, but this is not your route. Me? Why? I stiffen slightly, thinking that the mission might already be about to begin.
You can relax. There's just someone I'd like you to meet.
You want me to meet somebody? I wonder who it is. I have no idea who he might be bringing in at this moment, but I sense that he's debating something.
Shall we take a walk? It would be nice if you could bear with me for just a little while.
I agree to his suggestion, and we begin walking. As soon as we begin walking, I notice something. I feel like the way Saint Germain walks and the way his footsteps sound seem to strangely lack his usual elegance. What's the matter, Saint Germain? Is something bothering you? I can't help but ask him, and Saint Germain lets out a small sigh.
Are you able to read people's minds?
It's not that. I was just a little worried. If you don't want to tell me, that's fine.
It's true. My heart is restless. For the first time in a long, long while.
Why now then?
It's your fault.
What? Saint Germain grimaces and continues.
Oh, please don't try to kill me right now. And it's also likely due to all the others I've been surrounding myself with.
He slowly begins walking again as he speaks to me.
Long ago, man was banished from paradise. God deemed us unworthy of his grace.
What is this all about?
Basically, it is called original sin. Since then, we humans have continued to seek forgiveness.
Forgiveness from God?
Yes, so that he may someday forgive our sinful souls, living each day, hoping for God's mercy. That is the history of humanity.
I don't really understand, but will God forgive us one day?
I suppose. Only God really knows.
Saint Germain smiles and continues.
We must move forward on the correct path if we are to achieve salvation.
Salvation, correct path.
Yes, the correct path of history. But humans are weak and make mistakes. There is a devil living in our hearts, always tempting us towards mistakes. And that's why there must be someone to watch human history and correct these errors.
Saint Germain's tone is very serious. What is he trying to tell me? Saint Germain, what are you talking about?
Since ancient times, there has been an organization in this world that has been overseeing history from the shadows. They are called Idea. They prevent mankind from making mistakes by a variety of means, so that we can achieve our correct fate. I am one of the apostles of Idea.
What? It all sounds like some sort of joke, but Saint Germain is completely serious as he tells me about it. He is more serious than he has ever been in all our time together. That alone is more than enough for me to know that what he's saying now is not a joke or a lie.
Idea is currently very interested in your existence.
Okay, I'm right there. We're going to end this video because we're going to be getting into something big here, and I know it's going to take some explanation, which I won't want to cut off, so we're going to stop this video here. And hopefully Saint Germain won't try to kill us in the next video. So, I'd love to see you in any of my other videos, and I'd be so grateful for any likes, comments, subscriptions, or shares with your friends to show some support. Thank you so much for joining me, and I wish you all health, happiness, and safety. Dirili signing out. Bye-bye, everybody.